I think to succeed in programming as well as any other skill, the most important part is that you understand the process involved in creating a deliverable with that skill. And not only are you okay with it, but you actually enjoy the process.
In the world of programming, that process is trying, failing, trying again, and repeating it however many cycles until you get the solution. That's because every problem is uniquely different, and in most cases, you can't just copy and paste code verbatim from the internet and expect it to work. This whole trying and failing thing is a constant struggle that is shared by all programmers regardless of their skill level, and this process can sometimes span days or even weeks depending on how complex a problem is.
Before, when I was younger, when I came across a problem as I was programming, I would quote unquote bang my head against the wall for like an hour, maybe more. At that time, I didn't really establish this like cutoff point where you should stop. It's probably healthier to stop.
I know it sounds a little counterintuitive to just stop working on a problem halfway when you get stuck, but taking a break and coming back either in a few hours or even the next day really does make a difference.
Sometimes it's just, mysterious. Like you couldn't do it yesterday, but you can do it today. And a lot of times I feel like I couldn't do it. It's just like one of those problems that couldn't be solved, but always end up working.
As someone that writes code professionally in my day job as a software engineer, I encounter this a lot. I waste quite a bit of time trying to push forward with figuring out a solution, and then I eventually just give up at the end of the day and come back the next day and be able to get a working solution within minutes. So yeah, from my experience, establishing this cutoff point and trying to stop is one of those things that is easy to say, but hard to do. But anyway, I think developing this mentality of knowing when to stop acknowledges that it's okay to fail sometimes, because programming is not something that you can pick up and learn in one day. It's a continual process over a long period of time, and you're bound to fail sometimes.
I think one common characteristic I see among, programmers, like not very easy to give up, like being very resilient, like because you're gonna run into error millions of times, and just have the mindset not giving up when you do have obstacles.
And the byproduct of developing resilience is gaining this can-do spirit where you approach problems that you don't necessarily know how to solve with open arms.
You'll encounter problems that maybe are beyond what the scope of what they taught you in the class. And then you will be able to use your own kind of intuition and knowledge to figure out a solution, and then that gets added to your toolbox.
This goes back to how you can grow as a programmer. Like someone that's really good with programming, it's not because they are smart or they're really talented with programming. Maybe part of that is true, but it really goes down to the fact that they have practiced more, and that exposes them to a wider variety of problems. As a result, they learn about the different patterns and techniques that can be used to solve a problem.
I think as you practice, you will get kind of your own insight on what needs to happen, and you will get confident enough to be like, okay, no, I think I know better than following exactly what this thing is saying.
But solving a bunch of problems isn't the only way to build that mental toolkit of yours. With the availability of code sharing platforms like GitHub, you'll have the opportunity to take a peek at how someone else would solve a programming problem.
It's sort of like learning from the best, looking at their work, kind of admiring it. It's kind of like looking at a painting in a museum, looking at the details, how they make this product. That's a really cool way to learn because, in a sense, perfection is already in front of you. Obviously, it can be better, but at that point, that's a product that is readily available for you. Something like that is really cool to look at, and I think that's a great way to learn because you're looking at the best of the best.
This way of learning is crucial in the programming world because for every programming problem, there's a bunch of different ways that it can be solved. And exploring those different possibilities is really the key to expanding your horizon on how certain programming concepts can be applied. And this is a technique that I personally use whenever I'm trying to learn something new in programming. I basically go around on the internet and looking at other people's code and Frankensteining a solution based on what I find on the internet. And after I get everything working, then only I go around to tweak the code to give it my own style. But the bottom line here is that there isn't a be-all and end-all way to improve your programming skills. You really need to try things out and find the style of learning that suits your needs.
I think the one really important mindset to have is you can, just have the confidence in you, and you can, you can do it, and then you can just find a way to do it.
As with every skill, you have obviously a very wide range of skill levels. You can be an absolute beginner, not knowing anything, and you can also be like the best programmer in the world. So there's all this in between, and I think that in between is for everybody.
So to sum it all up, programming is an iterative process. Nobody will ever be able to know everything, which means that there's always an opportunity to learn something new. The inspiration for this video came about when I was talking to my friends, co-workers, and acquaintances as part of my mini documentary about what is programming. I was asking a bunch of questions about who do you think programming is for, and the recurring theme of responses that I heard back from them is that programming is for anyone. That statement was acknowledged not only by those that were good in programming, but also those that were just starting out with programming and frankly still struggling with it. On a personal note, I wouldn't say that I'm very good with programming, I'm just okay with it. But one thing that I'm good at is being curious and always having an open mind to explore the broad world of programming. I grew up thinking that there weren't necessarily going to be a lot of possibilities for me, but then I found out that I'm kind of good at programming, which overlap with my other interests like writing and environmental sustainability. And now that I've been programming for about 8 years, I have gained this confidence to solve pretty complex programming problems, and that confidence has helped me in things other than programming, like making these YouTube videos. Trust me, a video like this isn't as straightforward as just talking in front of the camera. There is a lot of things under the hood or behind the scenes that I need to overcome. But anyway, let me know down in the comments section if you can relate to or resonate with anything that was mentioned in this video. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you very soon in the next video.